Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We are back in the garage. It's early Saturday morning, and we're ready to go. I'm ready to rock today. We got snacks, we got drinks. It's you know what? No messing around. No more talkie. Let's jam. Got the flywheel all cleaned up, and then I forgot to take this out. So I took that out. Clean this out real good. It had a ton of stuff in it. Wasn't very pretty. It took me a while to get all that cleaned out, but it's nice and clean in there now. So next step is, do I paint this? Because it had a lot of rust on it. I scuff padded this thing for, geez, probably a half hour just to get all the crap off of it. Should I paint it? Of course, cover this and this and this. But should I paint it? We'll see. How did I know that was going to happen? It just spewed paint everywhere. Let that dry for a sec. Alright. I get another can of this stuff. Hopefully this one works a little better. High heat Krylon silver. I'm just going to dust it. Get away from me, bees. I'm being attacked. Being attacked. Probably excessive, but once OCD kicks in, you're done. You can't stop it. Bees. Man, bees do not like this stuff. Oh, they're going back in that same hole. I think it's going right up the soffit, and they don't like the smell. Huh, I thought I won that war. Apparently not. The sun came out just in time. She looks good. Didn't go too crazy, just gave her a dusting. Some of it's probably gonna rust and rub off when I install the car, but you know what? The best I can do is stop it from rusting. From there, we are going to put all these plugs back into the engine, because when I took this thing apart, I wanted to make sure I got all the little metal flakes out, because the oil pump that was in here sheared the cam bolts off, and there's just metal through the whole thing. So I took all of the plugs out and tapped them. So we're going to replace those now. I've already dry fitted all of these, so we're going to put some blue Loctite on here and install them. Everything has been cleaned, blown out, brake cleaner, and left to dry. Tell you what, that brake cleaner really makes metal parts very cold when it evaporates. So I usually wait a little bit just to make sure that everything's back to at least somewhat room temp. Starting to get tight. Alright, that one's in there. Again, a little sketchy because it's on the outside, so you got to be careful. It's good enough for me for now. So you get the idea. Putting them in, plugging them up. We'll move on and I'll be back. So right when you think you're done cleaning, you're not. Just cleaning up all the parts and the bolts and the cam bolts. I've already gone through a couple cans of brake cleaner. That thing was dirtier than I thought it was. Okay, let me get this wrapped up. I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to assemble the crank, put all the gears and stuff in the oven, get that all cooking. I'll probably babysit that. I don't want to burn my house down because I'll probably get easily distracted out here because I'm in go mode. Clean in between all of these gears. Make sure this is spick and span. Clean as a whistle. And then we'll move on to mocking up the crank and the cam. Make sure everything spins. Bolt down the case, torque it down, do some mock up. Make sure everything's spinning like we want it to and everything's clear. And go from there. Very clean, very shiny. Cam, gear, and cam bolts are all cleaned. Ready to rock. Oh yeah. Hands are pruning. This has been baking in the sun for the last hour or two. Necessary? No. Satisfying? Very much so. Little things. Okay, for this cam, we have the slit for the pump lined up with a notch. Our back lobe is pointed straight down. This cam calls for 20 foot-pounds, 2241 from CB Performance. I tightened it down. I found that a half inch works better than a 13. It's a little bit tighter. So we're going to tighten this down to 20 foot-pounds. Notice I have this wrapped in rags. Got a little bit of turn on that one. That one's good. That's good. That's it. She's all set. Next we will put the cam bearings in, put some oil on everything, drop this into the case. First we want to make sure that our, I don't know if it matters if these dots are touching each other, but why not? As far as I know, the dot is for you to know that this gear is facing out. Whatever, I line them up. We're gonna make sure that these bolts on the back of this cam do not rub anywhere on here, or we're gonna end up right back where we started. That's the reason we're here, is because the guy installed the first pump in here and it was hitting the old bolts and it sheared all of this off right here and sent metal through the whole engine. So we're gonna make sure that this clearances once it's in the case. What we need to do is make sure that none of this is going to hit any of these bolts. Gears in there. She's a spinning. I don't know how much of that you can actually see. So the pump is seated all the way in. Now, okay, let's see if we can do three things at once. I got the light lined up on here. The pump is seated all the way in. Now see that little lump right there? See how the cam gear goes by it and it does not hit, that is a good thing. So we're clear. I'm happy. Everything is going smooth. Yeah, got some good clearance. We have clearance. Good times. Okay, moving on. For these bearings, if you notice, you can see that they're sanded on the outside. The double thrust bearing, I definitely had to sand both sides evenly to make sure that they fit in here okay. Press those in. The bigger one of these two goes in the middle. Very nice. Make sure that's flat. And then the small one, same deal. Come on. Now, I'm just going to use a little oil because we're only mocking stuff up here. Put a little oil on the cam. We're just going to drop that in there. And I'm just showing you now, I still have to put the gear on here. See that? See how this has a little shake to it? You can actually hear it. You have to grind that double thrust bearing on the outside by taking it, putting it down on something flat, and doing this to it. Jawbreaker shows you, I think Darren shows you. That's where I learned it. I didn't know anything about this, and if I didn't watch that video, I probably would have destroyed this engine. But I was surprised at how much I had to take off. I had to do it like 4 times, and then it finally dropped in, and before it was just, it wouldn't move. And then I got a little bit more movement, and then I got a little bit where you can hear it. You can get a little click out of it. So, thanks guys. I'm learning from your videos, that's for sure. So this shakes. I got a couple thou in there. It's got some oil in it now, so it's not making as much noise as it was before. But this spins real nice. Before, when I put this in, you'd literally have to kind of press or click this into this double thrust bearing. You do not want that. Everything else is spinning nice. One step at a time. We're getting there. This is what I'm talking about. So we're on the cam gear on the double thrust bearing. And if you look, watch right here, you want this couple thou in there so that she spins nice. Happy with that. We're back on the crank. We're putting the rods on, and I got a couple things to show you. I got 3 of them on. I just haven't torqued them down yet, but a couple things I wanted to mention. Let's show you what's up. Here's what I'm finding. These little bolts, I had to clean them again. Putting them in and out of the threads on here is showing me that the threads were still a little bit dirty. So I took my microfiber rag and shoved it in there like so till it popped out the other end like that, and then just pull, get it till it's thick enough of material of the cloth, and then just kind of unspin it or unscrew it. Yeah, this one might show a little bit of shmoo in there. This one isn't as bad. There's only one of them out of the 4 was filthy. Oh yeah, look. It's pushing a little bit of garbage out of the threads. So, 2 of them. Maybe I just forgot to clean the other 2, I don't know. But I'm glad I checked. Alright. Those look very nice. Hey, quick tip. Don't throw your little caps away. These are good for putting nuts and bolts in there and keeping them clean so they're not rolling around your workbench. Alright. I have already put some of the Permatex Ultra Slick on there. Man, that stuff is sticky. So, first tip here is when you use this ARP thread lube, they call it fastener assembly lube, whatever. You put it on the threads. You don't have to go overboard, just enough that's on there so it's in the threads. Okay, and then you always put a little bit on the head of the bolt. Don't overdo it. No need. But enough that's on there so when it spins around, you get the right torque. And then put this back in here in your little clean area. Do the next one. Clean your hands real good, because now you get to put the Ultra Slick on the rod and the rod cap. Couple drops. This stuff goes a long way. There's a little bit of oil mixed in here. I got all excited, opened this up, and accidentally spilled some out, so I just filled it up with a little oil. Get this again. It's been sitting a little while. Don't want it all dripping off. Make sure your bearings are nice and flat. Now, when I took these apart, I put arrows and the numbers on everything. The cap and the rod itself. So, tang to tang, like that, and then facing down toward the flywheel with the arrows. Rod bolts, start them by hand. No need for that yet. Spin these on there, and then what I do, some guys just zip these on, but what I do is, see that space in there? I go a couple turns on each side. Until they stop. That's it. And that is that. Next is torque sequence. According to CB Performance website, these rods, CB Performance Super Race Rod 5500 VW, are to be torqued 15, then 20, then 25, then 29. So I'm going to do that next, and then do some cleanup, and then we're going to plop this thing in the case, and then check how it works with the cam. Yeah, I don't like that. Something's up. It's skipping right off of there. Oh, it's because of the way the socket's cut. That's not good. Oh yeah, that barely fits on there. That fits way better. I'm gonna get another socket reducer and use that one. Put your thoughts in. I hear every time you add an extension to your torque wrench, you lose a little bit of torque. Is that true? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. So first, tighten these up. Okay, there's our 20. Let's turn this up to 25. Barely turned. Alright, now 29. Locked in. Okay, very nice. That's one torque down. Now you know what comes next. Super speed. So I'm prepping this for mock-up, or actually assembly of the crank. And I found that these Woodruff keys, they did not want to go in. I had to sand them down to a little 80. You can see there's a little high there where that wonkiness is on the top here. But just, I didn't go crazy, just enough so you can see the scratches flat all the way across. That one seems like it's going to go in okay. Probably put a little oil on it and it'll slide right in. But now I got this one in here. And now it doesn't want to come out. There it goes. You know, I keep finding that I'm using Grandpa's old tools. 10 minutes ago, that was rusty and nasty, but I put it on the wire wheel, and I find myself standing in front of the wire wheel a lot more often using Grandpa's tools lately. Ooh, caught myself on the crank. That is sharp. Light taps until she pops out. She's good to go. That's gonna fit in there nice and snug. Time and gear is a cooking. I'm wondering how long this is gonna take actually baking it in the oven, because I don't have a hot plate. And I don't want to wait to buy one. So she's warming up. Getting there quick. Let's see how long this takes, because it is not a good day to be having the oven on. It's humid, it's hot. Shove my dinner down my throat and get back to it. Alright, don't mind me if I'm yelling, but there's air conditioners and fans and everything on. So what I did was turn the oven on, put it, I have a gas oven, so I couldn't do the burner on the top. I put it at 460? Yeah, 460 for about 20-25 minutes. And then, you know, my house is not attached to my garage, so I grabbed my welding glove, took it out. It was starting to smoke a little bit. It was very clean, but it was still starting to smoke a little bit. I couldn't smell it or nothing, but I said, you know what, let's give this a shot. I ran out here. I did not have time to turn my camera on while I was sliding it on, but she slid right on. I just had to tap it down with the punch just a little bit. And that's on, and the brass gear is cooking. Let me tell you what, it is hot in this house. Brass gear is cooking. It's only been a minute or two, and what I did is I turned my air conditioner on in the garage, and I got it blowing right on the crank, so it's nice and cold. So that should shrink it a little bit so this goes on faster. So I'll let this cook for 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll run it out to the garage and see if she slides on. Okay, everything went smooth. That brass gear only had to cook at 460 for, I don't know, 8 minutes. Came out here, slid right on. No problem. I was a little freaked out at first because it didn't look like the snap ring, retainer ring was going to fit, but I got it on there. It snapped right on. And she is good to go. She's on there. Let's finish this off real quick. Bearing, directional. pre-lubed. Slinger. Put the key in there. That went smoother than expected. First timer, I am pretty psyched about how this all went. Let's slap this thing in the case and see what happens. Let's see how this goes. You look like you're in. Okay. Redo. All right, try number 3. Ooh, this one snaps right in. There we go. Oh no. I hear rubbing. Are you kidding me right now? Oh man. It's rubbing. Alright, let's check this. It's in. Guess what I get to do, guys? It's rubbing right here. Unbelievable. Oh, I get to do this case again. Okay, clearance. We do not have clearance. Damn it. Okay. Not gonna complain, just gonna get her done. She's in. Okay, where are my fuel gauges? It's just barely touching the side. I'm not going to freak out because it's just a little tiny bit I got to take off. But here and here. Let's see what we got going on. All right, we're lined up. Clears the cam. I had to re-clean the case again anyway, so I'm really not worried about it. I have to do like 1,000, some maybe 2,000 of clearancing. on one. I'll check the other side. Maybe I'll do the rubber band trick too, just to make sure these rods aren't jumping around at all. Beyond that, I am pretty stoked because we are getting really close. Things are happening. Round 2 in the grinding. Thinking that's it. I only needed a thou or two, and I think I'm there. I just don't have to do this again. I'm gonna blow this out. See what I got. All right, boys and girls. It has been a long day. It is dark now. It is 8:30. I'm tired. I'm losing it, man. Anyway, she's all torqued down. And she moves nice. Cleaned it up the best I could after I ground down a little bit that I had to. And then brake cleaned everything. Slapped the bearings in there. Put this back in, took the cam and everything out. I just wanted to make sure this cleared. So everything's good. So now I get to wash everything again, which I was going to do anyway. But I got to give it a thorough cleaning again now. All the passages. Thinking about taking my plugs back out and doing it all over again. Not a big deal. That only took me 5-10 minutes. I'm done. I'm tired. It's late. Until next time, everybody.